What's up, guys? Sandy Cater with Team EXT, and today I have with you my new degenerate. Would you consider it pretty degenerate? Yeah, we got my new degenerate Team Wars deck. If anyone was gonna find any degenerate deck to play in the UK,
it's definitely you.
It'd be me.
It'd be you. Yeah, it's pretty degenerate. It's pretty gross.
I'm still here in the States. Philly is finished up, so I'm at Dylan's house.
His best United States friend.
Yeah.
It's either me or Eric.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, so it's Shenron veggies. It's tricolored, so it's just got the normal veggies package with the green and red stuff, and then we've thrown in the yellow package. Before we go any further into the deck profile, we have to shout out Sawyer. How do you say his last name?
Diehl.
Sawyer Diehl.
I also want to throw in a shout out to Cam Wood because he actually tested this a lot too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So those two, like 98% of this deck is theirs. There's just one card change that was suggested by Russell Stelzer, and it was actually really smart, so we threw it in. Yeah. So we run 7 Dragon Balls because it's a Shenron deck. Early on, we don't want to be using our energy for like Super Dragon Ball or 1-Star Ball. It doesn't really add anything to the deck, so 7 Dragon Balls is what you should be running. And then 4 assembling the squad. That's sort of what makes this deck incredibly broken. You'll grab your Cabas from the deck with it. So early on for the mulligan, you solely want to hard mulligan for Dragon Balls, assembling the squad, and Dragon Radar, so you can awaken on turn 2. You got 3 Dragon Radar. Early on, you're solely using it to look at the top 7, so you have a higher chance of awakening on turn 2 with 1 assembling the squad. So on turn 2, you can get 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area. You can assembling the squad, grab a Kaba, just pull out a bunch of boys, and then flip, free wish assembling the squad, and then get another Kaba. So hopefully on turn 2, your board will be like 6 cards.
Yep, sounds about right.
And you're already like dealing with a lot of attacks on turn 2. So being on the draw against this deck is very, very scary. One inherent downside of the deck is not having enough Cabas in your deck. Like if you've only got 1 Cab in your deck, you're sort of in for a tough time. Like it's not awful, but once you get 2 Cabas on board, like that's when the deck really thrives. The Saiyan Teamwork Kaba reduces all Kale and Cauliflas by the one green specified cost. So if you have 2 Saiyan Teamwork Kabas, these new yellow cards, like the 2-drop Caulifla, it only costs 1 yellow, and the 4-drop Caulifla only costs 2 yellow. So that's very strong.
It is, yeah, as I say, as someone who has played against the deck, it is really strong to drop the 2-drop Caulifla for 1 energy.
Yeah.
Actually pretty absurd.
And this new yellow package adds a huge amount to the deck because it's like playing against veggies, but without having any energy, which is really scary. And especially with these new counterplays coming out, you can new counterplays that are out, you can use the Cauliflas to stop them from using their counterplays and stop them from using their good negates and things like that. So we run 4 Saiyan Teamwork Kaba because we just need to see that and get that on the board as much as possible and have the highest chance of that being in the deck. 4 Unstoppable Super Saiyan Cauliflas. These are essentially just free, and they're self-awakeners. They're 20k bodies, and so that's really powerful. 4 Hidden Awakening Kales, because that, it's a 20k crit.
It's good removal, too.
It's good removal, especially against this new Zamasu deck with all the tokens.
We're going to talk about that on the Ellipsis YouTube channel, so shout out to Ellipsis TCG.
Yeah, I'll tag his YouTube on there because that Zamasu deck's actually really interesting. So if you want to go check it out, it'll probably be on there soon. And then when you have 5 or less cards in hand, it draws you a card. So it's a small draw engine. The other, we'll go into the red stuff as well. We got 4 bold Super Saiyan 2 Cauliflas. These are your ideal targets off of the Saiyan Teamwork Kaba. When you'll play for free off Kaba, and then you get to play a Universe 6 with 15k or less. So this also includes the new yellow stuff because they're Universe 6, so you can get hit Ace of Universe 6.
Yeah.
You can get The Caulifla Troublemaker and the 1-drop Caulifla, hopefully that's not your only target, but you can still grab it off that. It also grabs the other 2 red cards in the deck, which is the Impeccable Super Saiyan Kaba. This is just an uncounterable 15k body. I don't really use that much, but it's just a decent card to hit off the Caulifla. It's an alternate win con as well, so you got that there. And then the Sister Attack Saiyan Kale. When you have another Universe 6 on board, this includes the yellow stuff now, it gains plus 5,000 and draws you a card, so it's very good as a draw engine. The new yellow stuff, we run, I run 2 1-drop Caulifla the Bold Sister. This is solely energy. For the most part, like if you see it turn 1, you're probably going to charge it turn 1 as energy, so you have 1 yellow energy for your 2-drop Caulifla. It's an evolve target for the 4-drop, so if necessary, you can play it for 1 and then evolve over it, but the 2-drop is a much better target. 4 2-drops, because once you get the Cabas out, it's a 1 cost that taps down your opponent's energy and replaces itself via your life. So if you're trying to play around the counterplays, this is a very good card to do it. You essentially trade 1 mana for 2 mana, and they'll either tap it, they'll either go for the counterplay, and you've just lost that 1 card, or they just can't counterplay for the duration of the turn, and that allows you to do all the things you want to do with your deck. 1 hit Ace of Universe 6. This is there if your hand gets a bit clunked up with the Cauliflas. It's a good assemble target. You like it a lot.
Yes, I really like this card because I think it allows you a big explosive turn with the 4-drop Cauliflas to aggressively tap down. However, the only downside is you have to evolve the Caulifla over a yellow, and there's only 6 targets.
Yeah, it would be to begin with. I think a couple of people thought you could evolve the 4-drop, the yellow Caulifla, over some of the other Cauliflas, but that's just not how it works. Bandai decided they wanted to balance a bit, even though this deck isn't very balanced. And then we run 4 of the new Caulifla Awakened Sister. It's a double strike 20k. When you combo with it, it will evolve over a yellow Caulifla, and when you play the card, it taps down one of your opponent's energy. This new Caulifla can be hit off the Saiyan Teamwork Kaba, which is super cool. It just gives you more targets for the Kaba, and it's a very strong target to hit if you've missed the Bold Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. And then the final battle card in the deck is Black Mask Saiyan, the Devastator. It's really strong as a win condition. Russell Stelzer recommended it right before Team War started, so I decided to take out 1 Impeccable Super Saiyan Kaba because I was running 2, and throw it in there as a 1-of. It's good against Janemba because all of your cards are Saiyans, so as long as they don't hit that 1-of, you'll probably be able to play it and give it triple attack and just kill them.
Cards have always been very strong in Shadow Legends. Back at American Nationals, there was a couple deck lists that played 3 of that in the main, and that was their win con.
Yeah, it's a very strong card. And against these new burst decks like Clash of Fates Goku and Yamcha that run all these Saiyans and all the counterplays, it's super good against those decks. So I think this was a best of 1 event. If I was going into a best of 3 event, I would definitely have at least 1 more on the side. And then we just have our Sparking Super combos because they're pretty much live turn 1, sometimes turn 2. It's not that.
Oh yeah, super combo. I thought you said negate, and I was like, we don't play negates.
No, we don't play negates in the main board. You don't need it.
We kill them.
You kill them very, very quickly, like turn 3. So you don't really need negates in the main board, and your life, unlike Broly High to Mastery, your life doesn't go down as quickly. So you're normally pretty safe in the early turns before you have the opportunity to kill them. Yeah, outside of that, bad matchups would be Janemba. Janemba was my only loss for the day. I had 2 Cabas in my life and 1 in my hand, so I couldn't really be very explosive. And then you thin your deck very quickly, so they can mill you out rather quickly. Normally, turn 3, turn 4 is when you want to kill them.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's a bad matchup really. There's just 1 card that kind of messes with the deck.
Which is Unexpected Turn hits the deck.
Very hard.
Which is why this is sort of like the Team Wars monster, because there are 3 cards you really need to look out for. 1 is Unexpected Turn. 1 is Kami. You don't want to get Kami'd, but it's easy to play around until your kill turn, as long as you're not being a like a monkey like I was against Janemba. I sort of played into the Kami. And then the third one is Black Masayan. That's a fairly strong card against this deck, especially if they can get more than one.
Yeah,
but
I think Dark Power in general is a strong card for the format.
Yeah, Dark Power is a very good card. But if they play it early on, your 4-drop Caulifla does tap the Black Masayan, so you can hit it off the Kabbalah. And if you hold 2 Dragon Balls in hand and you hard cast Assemble, you can play the Kabbalah, drop the 2 Dragon Balls, and then you can play the Caulifla, tap the Black Masayan, and then you can swing into it with the Caulifla, and then it's gone, and then you're safe for the duration of the your next turn of the game, as long as they don't have it or a way to get it back. It's doable in singles as well. Like Sawyer went 4-3.
And 2 of his losses were Janemba. What was the third one?
I can't remember what the third one is. But even against one of his Janemba matchups, he had a really bad RNG. He had the same situation as I did in teams. He had 2 Kabbas in his life and one in his hand, and he just wasn't able to do some ridiculous stuff with it, which is inherently the biggest downside of the deck.
Yeah.
But Decklist will be down in the description. His YouTube channel will be in the description. There's not really much else to say about it. It's just it's a Shenron Veggies deck, but it now taps you out and is very, very strong.
Yeah, it's perfect for best of 1 teams.
Yeah, even best of 3 teams. It's just perfect for teams in general, I think.
Yeah, I think the sideboard gets a little weird, but I think,
yeah, it's fine. All right, guys. Thanks.